All right, welcome everybody. Today's video finds us over here in Thon Buri. We are at the Wat Intharam Pier right now. As you can see behind me, this is one of the canals over here in Thon Buri. And it's a popular place. A lot of people go on some little cruises up these canals here and they can go and see part of the old city. But anyway, we didn't come over here to see the pier. We came over here to see the temple of Wat Intharam Worawihan. And it's the burial site of one of my favorite Thai kings, King Taksin, as the Thais call him, Taksin the Great. He is a super important part of Thai history, and this is his final resting place. And we're going to look around the temple, and I'll tell you a little bit about King Taksin and why I came over here today. So we're going to see the little chetties, we're going to look inside all of the halls and look around. So let's see if there's anything interesting. So this is the canal, and people come over here and they feed the fish, and then you can see some of the old buildings. And then people take these long towels right here and they can do some cruise, like little tours up the canals. But yeah, this is a neat part of the old city. Now, King Taksin moved the capital over to here from Ayutthaya after Ayutthaya was sacked by the Burmese in 1767. So the capital was completely destroyed, and after Taksin liberated it from the Burmese, this became the capital. So here we got another little boat coming by. So you can see this is definitely a popular thing. A lot of tourists like to come over here. Also, the Thais will do these tours also, because you can see Bangkok in a different light. So you got two people in that whole boat right there. And then they have the big, huge Toyota engines on the back. So right here, this is the chetty that holds the ashes of King Taksin. So he was executed and cremated and then put into this chetty. And then his wife, the queen, this is her ashes right next to it. And there's a little shrine right here, right behind it. We'll go in there and look. And there is a ton of people here. There was actually like 4 tour buses out in front. You can see all these people. Now, this is a really busy place on December 28th. That was the coronation day for King Taksin. So every year, December 28th, the Thais come over here and have like a little celebration for King Taksin. So this is an old Ayutthaya style temple. I'm not sure the year this temple was built, but it is Ayutthaya style. And it looks like they're doing a little renovation right there, so you can't see behind the screen. You can see it's just kind of a plain hall. It has 6 windows on each side, and then it has 2 doors. And it's nice enough. This is a what they consider a third-class temple. And this is the outside, and as you can see how the middle is kind of bowed in, it's like a Chinese junk. So that was a hallmark of the Ayutthaya style. And then this is the shrine for King Taksin. So it looks like they're filming something in here today. So I'll join them. And here's a shrine, or a little statue of King Taksin. So we'll go in here. It looks like there's a ton of people, so it might be hard to film in here. Yeah, there's a huge amount of people. And then here's the statue. And this guy's giving him a little class on stuff. And you have a shrine over there for Taksin, and then the Buddha. So over here is part of the shrine, and people come and they donate these little swords. Since Taksin was like a warrior, they donate swords here, and that's part of the merit making. So everybody's in here still praying and doing their chanting. Let's go to another hall where there might not be as many people. And they have a little shrine here with the Buddha. Kind of an interesting thing. It's has some like wooden windows in front of it. And over here is the main part of the temple. We'll go through, if we can get through this little low wall here. Now it's just in the middle of this like residential area. There's houses all built up all around. And then you have the temple wall that separates the temple from the community. And then here is, right here, a humongous ordination hall. And then you have the Worawihan over here. And they have like the marble tile down. And then another hall over here. And then they have a couple little chetties over there in the Khmer style. Yeah, this is a really, really nice temple. Okay, so here is the shrine for King Taksin. And you can see it has a little bit of the Chinese, like the little dragon things. And then this is like the big stone that's like popular with some of the Chinese. Now, Taksin was born in Ayutthaya, and I believe he was born like in 1724 or something like that. So he was relatively young whenever Rama I had the coup, and then he was executed, and then Rama I took over. But he was born to his father was Chinese, and his name was Sin, and they added the Tak later, so Taksin. And his mom was she was a Mon. Now he studied with Rama I whenever they were young. And actually, there's a story that they went to like a storyteller, and both of them were there, and like the prophet storyteller person told them that both of them would become king, but they said that they both ignored it, and it later became true because they were like best friends. And when Taksin was king, and then Rama I overthrew him. So this is the ordination hall, and this is fantastic. Wow. So you see the main Buddha here, and it has just a colossal high ceiling. It has these piers that are what you see in the Ayutthaya style. This is a colossal room. And then you can see like the artwork behind the Buddha, which is like symbolizes the Bodhi tree. And then they have the mat here for the monks and their ceremony. Now, I have been over here before whenever they were actually doing all of the novice monk ordination ceremonies. And they were all in here on the ground and doing their chanting, and the family was all outside and stuff. All right, so this is really, really nice. And you can see the artwork that they've done on the back of these heavy wooden shutters. So that's the back side, and then this is all hand painted on the front. And they've done that to the doors and the windows. And they're just that huge, heavy wooden door. Okay, let's go and look at one of those other halls. And then these are the ordination stones right outside. And you can see how nice this building is. You can see all the stuff above the windows and everything, and these big, huge columns. And then the front and back porch on this building. Yeah, this is a massive, massive temple. Now the reason this temple is important is this was King Taksin's favorite temple. So he would come over here and he would meditate at this temple. And whenever, he moved the capital over here to Thon Buri, so this was close to all the capital stuff. So we're gonna go into that Worawihan over there. Okay, so it sounds like they're doing a little bit of a ceremony over here. Some of the novice monks. Or these are the lady monks. And you can see how they have the Buddhas and the little notches up here. And then they have some paintings and stuff. And that is the principal Buddha. This is very nice. And you can see him up there, and then the wooden ceiling. That's normal for the Ayutthaya style. And then the main Buddha in here. And they have an emerald Buddha right out here by the entrance. So here's some of the little chetties. So these are like a Khmer style prong. And I really like it with like those little pieces of tile and stuff. This whole temple complex is fantastic. So anyway, more about King Taksin. So he was raised in Ayutthaya, and you know, he kind of worked his way up through the ranks. And then when Ayutthaya was still a capital, he was appointed as like governor of Kamphaeng Phet. Now it was right whenever, I think it was like King Ekarat, I think he was the last king of Ayutthaya. So anyway, he was appointed governor of Kamphaeng Phet, but he couldn't go over there and take over because of the Burmese. The whole country was kind of in flux. So anyway, he was in Ayutthaya when the Burmese came and laid siege to it. And I've done a couple videos from over in Ayutthaya, like over at Wat Hantra and Hantra Village and stuff like that, and the Temple of the Victory Monument, where they built their camp and where King Taksin escaped with his small army. And if you want to see those, they're in my Ayutthaya playlist. But Wat Hantra is where he supposedly swam through the canal and over the river, and then he turned around and he told everybody that you know, he will be back, and you know, he would make his vengeance, all of that stuff. So anyway, he fled with an army from Ayutthaya 3 months before it fell, and the details of that are still kind of sketchy. Nobody really knows all the details about when he escaped. But anyway, he did get out of Ayutthaya with an army of 500 men. They went over to Chonburi, then they went to Rayong, and then they went eventually all the way over to Chantaburi. And there's a big shrine in Chantaburi for King Taksin. And I've been over there, I've filmed that, and it's pretty neat. So anyway, he ended up overthrowing the governor of Chantaburi. You know, there's another story about how he said he wants the whole city to burn, and burn all the utensils and burn everything. So anyway, he overthrew the governor of Chantaburi, and then after the fall of Ayutthaya, the people didn't know what to do. So he started gathering up a lot of the people that didn't really have anywhere to go. You can see in here, this little shrine is locked up, but it has a Chinese Buddha and stuff like that inside of it. So he overthrew the governor of Chantaburi, and he took over, and then he assembled an army of like 5,000 men and 100 ships, and then he eventually came over here and he liberated Bangkok, and then he liberated Ayutthaya from like the puppet governor that the Burmese had appointed. The Burmese, they'd sacked everything, they took everything of value, so they just had left like a token force in Ayutthaya. So then after King Taksin recaptured Ayutthaya, he had quite a few battles. Pretty much his whole reign as king was fighting battles. He fought against the Cambodians, he fought against the Burmese, he fought against the Lana Kingdom, and that was up there like Chiang Mai area. So his whole time was basically fighting wars. And then at the end, he started becoming kind of aloof. Let's see, let's go over there and look inside this little shrine right here. And he would spend most of his time here at this temple meditating. And that's why the coup happened, is because they thought that he went crazy. And some people say that he probably had like a midlife crisis, because I think he was like 45 or so whenever he was executed. So Rama I took over, and some say that they gave him the option to not be executed, that he was sent off to become a monk somewhere, but that never works that way for kings. They have to kind of eliminate the competition, because there would always be the threat that he would come back and take over power. So here is this little shrine. We'll go in here and take a look at this. All right, so this is really nice. There's a little reclining Buddha right here. And you can see they have murals and stuff painted on the inside of these walls. Yeah, this is really nice. I'm not sure the age on this, but it's quite old. You can see some of the murals here that are in pretty good shape. Painted some birds and all of that. Yeah, with Taksin, he reunified the country. He'd liberated it from the Burmese. He instituted like new laws, expanded the territory. He did all kinds of stuff. So kind of at the end, it's like, what do you do after all of your objectives have been met? So I think he might have been just kind of like, okay, now what do I do? And he was kind of in, like a little crisis. And so he was trying to search for something else. And everybody took it as, he was going crazy. And his best friend was Rama I, and he was the one that had the coup. So as you can see by this temple grounds, this is just absolutely fantastic. Now, to the Thais, it's really important. King Taksin is a vital, figure in their history, because without him, where would Thailand have been? At the time when the Burmese, took over, this whole country is kind of divided amongst like 8 different kingdoms. So Taksin, he pulled them all together and kept Thailand as Thailand. All right, so let's go into this other little hall here. So they have some stairs, and it goes up, and there's this little tiny Buddha. Wow, this is nice. And you can see there's still some more of the murals and everything painted on the walls in here. So people climb up these little stairs, and then they pray. There's the little Buddha footprint also. Yeah, this is really a nice little building. Yeah, the murals are really faded, but that's what happens after 200 or 300 years. Yeah, so all the little history of Taksin, that's just kind of coming from memory. So if I misspoke, I'm sorry. You can correct me in the comments. Just kind of gather up bits and pieces over the years of living in Thailand about King Taksin. So anyway, after Rama I had the coup, Taksin was executed, and then they moved the capital from Thon Buri across the river into Burma. And Rama I and his dynasty has been in charge of Thailand ever since. And we're on Rama X. That's the current king. Okay, so this is the third little hall that they have in front. And this one is really, really cool. I mean, all of these little buildings are awesome. So they have 3 of the monks, and then what you have here is kind of a rare Buddha pose. So this is the Buddha in the coffin, and they will be cremating him. So you see the feet sticking out, and then the disciples are over here. This is like the funeral pose. And you can see where people have came and put the gold leaf on it, same as these little Buddha monks. And then you can see some more of the murals and stuff on the inside of this building. Yeah, this is really it's a tiny little building, but it's really, really awesome. I like this a lot. So out here in the front of the temple, you see the little building with the orange and green roof, and this is another one. And you can see the chetties and everything. And you can see this chetty, this brilliant white chetty. And then down here at the base, it has the Garuda that's supporting it. It's kind of like if you went to Wat Arun, they have some of those also that are holding up Wat Arun. And then there's 2 more of these buildings here. So there's a total of 4 of these buildings that have, the reclining Buddhas, the Buddha footprint, and then the funeral pose of the Buddha. And then you have another chetty over there that has the Khmer style roof, the Khmer style prong at the top, and then that little hall over there that's locked up. I can't get in there. And then this ordination hall and the Wehan and another prong over there, and then it has the shrine and everything over there. So there's quite a bit to this temple grounds, and it's all just immaculate. It's really, really nice. And we have one more of the reclining Buddhas. So the 2 reclining Buddhas are actually facing towards each other, which is pretty interesting. And then another hall with some of these little murals. So there's a total of 4 of these little tiny halls. They have 2 reclining Buddhas, they have the funeral Buddha, and then they have the Buddha footprint in the one. Yeah, this is super, super fun to see. You can see the wooden doors and everything. So letting off some firecrackers over here. Part of that big group of people. Yeah, they have 4 of these buses with these people. And you can see the smoke billowing out of the top. You see that the Chinese people they have the little ribbon and stuff. The ladies dressed up pretty nice. Yeah, I have no idea what this big group of people are all about. Okay, so now that big group of people are gone, let's take a look at this. So this is the Buddha here. And then over here, this is what I was wanting to show you. This is the little shrine for Taksin. And so people make the donations, and you can see the little swords and stuff that people come and they donate to him. And you can see how they have the little Buddha with all that gold leaf that they've stuck on there. Just tons of it. All right, guys, that finishes up our little walk around here at Wat Intharam Worawihan, the final resting place for the Thai king, King Taksin. This is a lot of fun for me. I've read a lot about this guy, the former Thai king, and this is so important for the Thais, for their sovereignty and everything else. The memory of him is really important. So this temple is nice. If you are over here in Thon Buri, I would say stop by and take a look at it. It's definitely worth your time to come and see. It's a third-class temple, so it's not as fancy as like the first-class temples or whatever, but it is still really, really cool. The little halls with the reclining Buddhas and the Buddha in the funeral pose and everything is really cool to see. So anyway, if you like the video, click like. Just takes a second, smash the like button. And if you're new to my channel, this is the kind of stuff I do. I go and I show you things that I see on my daily journeys around Bangkok or Thailand. If I show you a temple or a market or whatever, it's just what I see, I show you. So if you like it, definitely subscribe, and that way you're notified whenever I post new content. I'm pretty active, so you see a lot of videos from me. And share it with your friends if you'd like. Leave me a comment, tell me what you think. Or if you want me to do something different, tell me also, and I'll be happy to try if it's possible. So until next time, guys, remember, life is a journey. Enjoy.